One thing you never want to be for an interview is late. Make sure that you've planned your route, parking, etc. for your interview well in advance, just so that you can get there a bit early. Being early, obviously if you're about 10-15 minutes early, gives you a chance to do some last minute prep, calm any nerves, and just get your head together before you walk through the door. It's probably important to add as well not to be too early. You don't want to be turning up half an hour, 45 minutes. That'll just put undue pressure on your interviewer. It goes without saying to always do your research. The simplest way to do this is go to the About Us section on the company's website, check out their LinkedIn, all their social media feeds, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram if they have it. Just gives you a great idea of the history of the company, any awards that they've won recently, or just any new developments in general, which is always a good talking point and a good icebreaker with your interviewer. Loads of ways to come prepared for an interview. This can include things like, which we always suggest, like taking a good crisp copy of your CV, notebook and pen for note taking, particularly as well if it's like a creative role or a PR role, a copy of your portfolio. It's a really good talking point, and it shows that you've got some work that you're proud of and you're keen to speak about. Also, some personal preparation. Make sure that you're dressed accordingly. Some companies might expect you to come dressed a little bit more formally than others, but ask your recruitment consultant for advice in this. Always good to practice your handshake. Good firm handshake always goes down well. No one likes a bad handshake, but yeah, little things like that. And if in doubt, ask your recruitment consultant. We all want to come across as the best version of ourselves in interviews, but sometimes that leads people to being a little bit more agreeable than they might otherwise be. If your interviewer asks you something that you're not 100% sure of, just be honest about it. Don't try and give answers that maybe you're bending the truth a little bit, because sometimes it can be painfully obvious and you don't want to get caught out further down the process in a lie. So we always say that interviews are a two-way process, as much for the interviewer to find out about you as for you to find out about the company that you're potentially going to be working for. So it's really important to ask questions. Questions that are important to you, like whether that's about office culture, development schemes, career progression, anything else that would make you happy to get up on a Monday morning. I would avoid things like salary, holidays, but yeah, it's definitely important to ask some insightful questions. One question we always recommend is right at the end of the interview. Your interviewer will probably say, have you got any final questions? We always say, ask them, what do you see my biggest challenge in the role being? It's really useful for a few reasons. First of all, it gives you some immediate insight into what the interviewer was thinking, and it also gives you a chance to push back. So if they do think maybe something might pose a challenge to you, if it's not been covered in the interview, you can push back and say, well, actually, I have experience in this. I've done this previously in my career. It just puts their mind at ease, really, and lets you walk out of there knowing that you said everything that needs to be said.